Women are having hair sewn into their eyelids using needles. If you've ever wondered how lash extensions came about, then this video is for you. We'll be discussing the origin of lash extensions, and I'll be answering some of the questions that has most frequently been on your mind from Reddit, TikTok, Instagram, and various platforms. So stick and stay with me, and let's get started. Dating the story all the way back to 3500 BC, in Egypt, it was known that if you have darker eyes, you're naturally going to ward off evil. So people started practicing this spirituality. They started adding coal and other darker substances to their eyelids, their natural lash extensions, to make it darker. And eventually, people began to see the health benefits that adding these dark substances bring. Somehow, some way, they discovered later that having your eyelashes darker prevent the sun rays from hitting directly on your eyes, right? And it also prevents dust from entering your eyes. So this practice was widely accepted, and because of the spiritual background behind it, it was being practiced by both men and women. This traveled all the way back to the 1st century after the death of Christ. For one Roman philosopher, after his countless research, came out to say that, I quote, "Having long lashes is a sign of chastity and virtue." He then went on to say that, per his research, if you have longer lashes, it means you could possibly be a virgin. And he also went ahead to say that whenever people have sex too much, they tend to lose their lashes. So imagine what the women of this century did. They did everything they could to maintain longer lashes. They started using more coal. They started using oils. That's how we discovered that olive oil can grow your eyelashes. Per this Roman philosopher's statement, educated people started taking it on. Like, people wanted to be seen as chaste. People wanted to be seen as virtuous. They found means and ways to grow their natural lashes. So fast forwarding this to the 1800s, the late 19th century, the world recorded its first artificial lash extensions. And yes, you can imagine how the news went. People didn't accept it. Yes, we have a hard time accepting change. People didn't accept it. People were widely criticized for doing it. And how they even invented this whole artificial lash thing as a history on its own. So, it is known that they used fibers, right? They used artificial strands to create hair-like fibers for these extensions. Other people also said it was from their natural hairs. But there were so many histories behind how these lashes or these artificial lash extensions came about. But the mind-blowing part of the news was this. In the headline, it stated, "Women are having hair sewn into their eyelids using needles." Yes, that's how dramatic the news was. And they were not using just any hair, they were using German hair. So you can imagine how the Germans were. Like, how are they using German hair to get hair sewn into their natural eyelids? With needles, my people, with needles. Yeah, so that concludes our history for today. Maybe the next time I come on here, I'll tell you a little bit more history on how it transited down to us having the various types of lashes that we have. But let's move on today. Let's go to some of the frequently asked questions on what lash extensions are, how lash extensions are supposed to be priced, what a beginner lash tech should expect or should have, what if you decide not to go for training for your lash services, but you want to start something on your own, gather some money and then go for training. What are the basic things that you need? I'm here to answer those questions, and without further ado, let's get into it. So the first question was, what are lash extensions? And if you are an old subscriber here or you've been here with me for a while now, I don't think this is a topic for discussion. But for my new subscribers, let's double it down to what lash extensions are. These are natural fibers, right? Or synthetic fibers, or let's call them microfibers, semi-permanent fibers, that look like hair strands that are being attached to your natural eyelashes to make them longer and to give them dimension and shape. Another question asks, what are the difference between cluster lashes, mink lashes, and individual lashes? Okay, so I'm grateful that you didn't ask what strip lashes are, but I have strip lashes here. These are strip lashes. For me to explain what mink lashes are types of strip lashes. Okay, And cluster lashes, let's pick these strip lashes and let's divide them into smaller bits. Divide them into smaller bits, like smaller bits where every bit has like 3 to 10 strands, and then you can attach them individually to your natural hair strand. So now that we've discussed what clusters are and what main lashes are, how different they are from strip lashes, someone asked, what are individual lashes? These are the lashes that are used to create your hybrid, classic, and volume for you. So they are more like single strands of hairs that have been attached to your hair. Or okay. I had another question saying how long are lash extensions supposed to last? Your lash extensions can last from 1 week to 3 weeks. That's all dependent on you and the adhesives that your lash tech uses. Naturally, if you are not washing your eyelashes too much, you're not putting water on too much, it should last you between 1 to 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, right? But there are various adhesives that are being used for lash extensions. And if you pick a strip lash, for example, strip lash would last you at most maybe 2 days, right? At most 2 days. The next question is, are lash extensions safe? Yes, lash extensions are safe if you go to a professional or someone with enough experience, and then someone who is not using an adhesive that is too harsh for your eye shape. Someone who has been in the game enough to know the do's and the don'ts. How do I wash my lashes? So these are lash brushes. When you get your eyelashes done after some days, if they are not cluster lashes, you can use the lash shampoo, and then you can wash your lashes. Wash them in circles, then you rinse them. That's after some time. After the adhesive and glue it dried down enough, the sealant and everything has dried down enough. Right. So the next question is, how do I remove my lashes? Okay, so there are various ways you can do lash removal, right? You can do lash removal at home using Vaseline. You marinate your lashes in the Vaseline, and then you give it some time to sit, and after some time they would start coming off by themselves, right? That's the best way to go about it. If you don't want to go to the lash salon, that would save your natural lashes. The second way to go about it is also to go to the lash tech and then get them to remove your lashes for you themselves. Okay. The next question, it says that, what is the right amount to genuinely price your lashes? I don't think there's a right amount to price these lashes in any way, because if I'm doing cluster lashes and I'm charging 80 Ghana cedis, it's because the adhesives that I use are less expensive, and to someone they would charge 50 cedis for cluster lashes, but I'll charge 80 cedis because maybe I'll have more experience and I'll have more tools and equipment, things I know that would make your cluster lashes even last for weeks. I have a review when I used to do cluster lashes. I have a review of a client who said her cluster lashes last. In such a case, that is fair pricing, because then I'm giving you value for your money, right? If another lash tech who does individual lashes has a base price of like 150, that's fine. People have base prices of 200 to this. Everybody has different services they're offering. Some are beauty services, some are luxury services. It's not just you coming to the lash tech to get your lash done. It's a whole experience that comes with it that they are charging for. They're charging for not just the products that they are using, but the services that they are rendering to you. You understand? So there's no fair pricing or genuine pricing for lash extensions. Okay. So the question was, what are the right or the genuine price for lash extensions? And I'd say there are no fair or genuine prices for lash extensions. What are the basic kits to start my lash extension journey? Okay, so this would be my last question since it's pretty late. It's 10:16. I would say that if you want to start your lash extension journey, I highly recommend that if you want to become a lash tech or a lash artist, please go for lash training. That aside, if you want to start something, gather some money before you go for lash training, that's fine. The basic and most important things you would need is, I would say, a lash mannequin. But if you don't have a lash mannequin, that's fine. Get yourself practice lashes. Like practice lashes, they are like strip lashes, but then they are practice lashes. They are individuals. They will help you with learning how to separate and all that. Lately, there's the gum method where you just tape your natural lashes up and then you individually single them out, so it has made the process easier. But I recommend you get a mannequin. I recommend you get tweezers. In my next video I'll be telling you what these tweezers are used for, but It would help you with separation, and then it would help you to pick up the lash extensions. I recommend you get your lash extensions as well. These are the individual lash extensions that you'll be picking. I recommend you get a primer. I recommend you get sealant. I recommend you get a bonder. I recommend you get the brush as well. Learn how to brush the oil off your natural lashes. If you've gotten your basic items, always include a lash tape and an eye patch. They are very important. They will help you to hold the bottom lashes down so that they don't get attached to the top lashes when you're fixing. You don't have to deal with the struggle of having to divide the lashes when you're done. Your microfiber brushes, your lens-free applicators, your client's after kit, and your light source. Your light source is very important. There are a lot of other things that you would need, like the fan, a nano mixer, the lash palettes, the lash holder, but those are not like basic things that you need, so I wouldn't be addressing them now. And in my next video, I'll be talking more about all of these things and what they'll be used for. But I hope you have learned something. Okay, so I'll end my video here for today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because I don't know what you're waiting for. Like, what are you waiting for? All this education for free. Please subscribe. Anyways, till I see you next time, thank you. My name is Nuerkie. Bye.
I am wealthy, I am strong, abundance follows all day long.